But yeah, I went back and I watched the Disney Channel movie, and it made me laugh because it was like, ooh, edgy rap. It was very Disney Channel rap.
Ooh.
They had like rap battles, but it's Disney Channel, so it was very like there were a couple times where I was like, that's a bar, but a lot of the time it was very Kids Bop trying to do rap battles.
I think what I've also found really funny is like the way that they kind of dressed her, styled her as a kid on Disney Channel, almost like they wanted her to look older. Like I feel like she looks younger now than like even just looking at these like single covers from like 2013, 2012. It's like they wanted her to have this like adult look, but obviously she was still a kid and sounded like a kid and had this adult kind of vibe, even though she's still a kid. So like it almost like when I mean like she's definitely grown into the artist she is today, it almost feels like as a kid, like I couldn't buy into the Coco Jones thing as a kid because I was like, I'm hearing a younger person but like, I don't know. It's like so hard to explain. I feel like especially in the early 2010s, like Disney never in general knows how to style anybody.
Yeah.
But like in terms of even like building their career up, it almost felt like, okay, so the best way to build a career outside of just being a Disney Channel kid is we need to make these kids look like we're business casual all the time. And like, you know, the music that they're singing about, it almost feels like it's not things that they've experienced yet.
Yeah.
Which feels very disingenuous. It's like, I feel like that's not, one, it's not your style. Two, that's just not even what you would talk about. So like being able to see her kind of create a style for herself and then also like get to hear her perspective on things because she wasn't the songwriter on those early tracks.
Yeah.
But like is the songwriter on her last two projects that she released, like What I Didn't Tell You and Why Not More, you know, down there in the bottom, her name is on there. So it's like, I think she just needed to like live some of those experiences for it to like feel authentic to her.
Well, and that's what she said. She was like, I had to grow into who I was. And she's like, I don't regret anything at Disney. Like I was living the fairy tale. I was a 13-year-old girl. Like I looked up to Hannah Montana and you know, but like even when I was watching the movie, I was like, they are definitely trying to make it. She's like, they were trying to put me in the mold that worked for all the other girls and it wasn't working for me.
Right.
Welcome to the Siren Songbook, a podcast where we discuss female artists, their music, their history, and the impact they've made on the music industry. Join us each month as we pick a new inspirational artist and celebrate exactly what it is that makes them so magical.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 21 of the Siren Songbook. I'm Amy.
I'm Kasey.
And today we are talking about Coco Jones.
Mm-hmm.
She was a Disney Channel star for a little while there, and then she's on the rise again. She just sang the Black National Anthem at the Superbowl, and I've really enjoyed listening to her music. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in. Kasey's gonna talk a little bit about her history.
Yes, just to provide a little bit of context. Jones was born on January 4th, 1998. I was born on the 7th. Ayo. Capricorn sister. The daughter of a former NFL player, Mike Jones, and session vocalist, Javonda Jones. She was raised in Lebanon, Tennessee, and her brother, Mike Jones Jr., formerly played football for LSU. So very accomplished family. She has two younger siblings, a sister, Asia, and a brother, Steven, and she performed America the Beautiful at her kindergarten graduation. At the age of 9, she met with the casting heads for Disney, and after that, she became an actor and songwriter for the company. In 2006, she competed on Radio Disney, where she became known for her song Real You. In 2009, she was chosen to perform live on the Most Talented Kids episode of The Maury Povich Show. In 2011, she guest starred on Disney Channel's television series So Random, which I vaguely remember off the top of my head.
I went to look up the episode because when I was like researching it, I was like, oh, she was on So Random, but it was like she was the musical guest. So Random So Random was Demi Lovato's show was
right, like
Sunny with a Chance.
Yeah.
Sunny with a Chance. And then they like had a show that they did within the show.
Like their version of like Kid SNL or something like that.
Yeah, and then when Demi left, they did a spin-off. And they just did So Random. So it was like Disney Channel SNL. And I was like, you know what? She's just performing. I'm not going to watch this whole episode.
I'm going to save some of my time points. In 2010, Jones was the runner-up during season 3 of Radio Disney's The Next Big Thing singing competition, which, oh my God, I used to listen to Radio Disney when I was a kid, and I would like dream about, I want to be on The Next Big Thing so bad.
I was a Radio Disney kid too.
Shortly after she released her debut project, Coco Jones, and began a concert tour revolving around the theme of anti-bullying called UBU, Stop the Bullying. I love it. I love it. That's just also, I'm only laughing because that is so like early 2010s.
Yeah.
It's just very like, it just feels like I'm like transported back to that time period. In June 2012, Jones played the lead role of Roxy in the television Disney movie Let It Shine. The movie was the most watched Disney Channel original movie and most watched movie of the year for kids and tweens in 2012, which I remember seeing it then, but I have not seen it since. I know you recently rewatched it.
I just rewatched it.
What were your thoughts?
It was Disney Channel trying to do rap.
Oh.
It was
Disney Channel's 8 Mile. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's about a kid. It has oh God, what's his name? The guy who plays Mr. Eddie on Abbott Elementary. Hold on, I'm gonna look up his actual name.
You know what's funny? Every time I see him, I just think of Everybody Loves Chris.
Yeah, see, I didn't even connect the dots that he was Everybody Loves Chris either. And so like when I looked him up, I was like, Tyler James Williams.
Love him.
I do too. And I when I looked up the poster, I went, that dude looks familiar. Because, it's Kid Him, but he looks exactly the same.
That's okay. That's what's so funny. Also, now I feel like I'm misremembering. Is it Everybody Loves Chris or Everybody Hates Chris?
Everybody Hates Chris.
Okay. My bad.
It's Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody Hates
okay,
Chris.
So I'm getting the two of them mixed up. It's funny. I never watched that show. The Everybody Loves Raymond.
That was a staple in my household growing up.
I remember specifically my parents and grandparents loving that show. And I watched it one time with them and I was like, what is anyone talking about? But yeah, so Everybody Hates Chris. I did like that show. Like, I didn't go out of my way to watch it, but like if it was on, I would watch. And when Abbott Elementary came out, I was like, wow, he looks the same.
Yeah.
He looks exactly the same.
He really does. And so like watching him as a kid, I'm like,
weird. It's just like, why is your voice not as deep as it is on Abbott Elementary? Yeah.
Actually, it kind of was getting there already.
That's also true.
But yeah, I watched it. It was, you could tell. And that was the other thing was like, okay, we were talking earlier about how like Disney Channel like definitely molded her to try to fit into their Disney star pop mold. Mm-hmm. And they would like tell her that her voice was too much and she had to bring it back. And I could hear that in the movie. Like the songs they had her singing, I was like, she can do so much more than that.
Yeah.
And what's even more hilarious is in the movie, he's trying to convince her like, you just got to take it to church. Your voice can do so much more. And then they're still taming her down.
Right.
When the movie's about her letting it all go. And so it just had this weird, like same thing, like with they were trying to do street battles and rap battles. And it's like Kids Bop trying to do rap battles. There were a few parts in there where I was like, okay, that's a bar, but it was very few and in between.
So funny. It's very of its time. I'll say that. Jones signed a record deal with Hollywood Records and began working with Grammy-nominated producer Rob Galbraith, co-writing and recording all new original music. Jones' debut single, Jones' debut single, Holla at the DJ, premiered on Radio Disney on December 6, 2012, and its release on iTunes the very next day. The video for the track premiered on the Disney Channel on December 12th, with a premiere on Vivo just afterwards. Her extended play, which I don't know why in my head this whole time I was like, what's an extended play? That's so fancy. EP. I'm so stupid. An extended play. Wow. Her EP Made Of was released on March 12th, 2013, and it reached the top 10 of the Billboard Heat Seekers chart. She toured with Mindless Behavior later that year. And Jones performed with Mindless Behavior at Radio Disney's Radio Disney Music Awards and took home the award for Funniest Celebrity Take.
Interesting.
Following the release of the EP, Jones worked in the studio with David Banner, Esther Dean, and Jukebox with plans to release her debut album by August. But in 2014, Jones was dropped from Hollywood Records. In August of 2014, she put out a video for the song Peppermint and made it available on digital platforms a month later. So in that time period, I know that you said, that she kind of talked about that time in interviews before.
So basically, like, they were just like, we don't know how to make you successful, I guess, basically, because she wasn't fitting in the previous Disney Channel pop girl mold.
You just don't look and act like Miley Cyrus or Demi Lovato, and it's like, yeah, no shit, because I'm not them.
Yeah.
Not them.
And so it was like, she, like I said, she was very type A. She did everything they told her to do. And then it got to a point where it was frustrating for her because she's like, I'm doing everything you're telling me to do, and you're telling me it's still not working. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. And I've been there before on a much smaller scale. And so they decided to part ways. I know that some of her singles that she was releasing were like, they were playing it on Shake It Up. Was that the show that Zendaya was on? It was like a dance show.
Yeah, I think so.
And so they'd have like dance routines that went to those songs, which, again, I was watching some of those dance routines and I was like,
hey, no.
Disney Channel.
Yeah.
It was a time.
Yeah. I feel like I only really liked Disney Channel in the 2000s, like in the aughts specifically. I was a huge Lizzie McGuire fan. And like that show felt like it was so silly. Like, you think about that episode where she goes, I want a bra. Something like that. But it was like, age appropriate, like real things we were talking about and what we were doing. And she also wore clothes that I was so jealous of. Yeah. And then, same thing with Raven, or That's So Raven. Absolutely obsessed with that show. She was a fashion designer. She had the best outfits. And then Hannah Montana comes out, and then Wizards and all these other shows. And I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing? And I feel like, I want to say genuinely that Hannah Montana was like the switch in their clothing department and also the acting style, because That's So Raven, they did feel like like for me, because I was a little kid, I was like, well, these feel like adults. But then you get to like the Hannah Montana thing, and she's younger. She's supposed to be like in middle school and also a pop star, which is interesting. But she's wearing these crazy outfits, and then she's like, oh, drats. Yeah. Like, whoa, okay.
Sweet niblets.
Dude, oh my God.
That was when I turned it off. Honestly, they had her, she's supposed to be walking onto the set for the first time.
Oh, for the 20th anniversary.
For the 20th anniversary. And like they had this like little mirror set up with like pictures of her and stuff. And I was like, that's very obviously placed right outside the door on purpose. And she looks in the mirror and she goes, how has it been 20 years? And then she opens the door and she or flips on the light and opens the door and goes, wow, it hasn't changed or something like that. And she beelines it for the fridge and she opens it, and inside she finds a mason jar of sweet niblets and a prop pie that she says, oh, it's a joke from season 1. And I'm like,
okay. Okay. It's funny. I was in downtown LA last weekend, and I was at 82, which is this like barcade out there.
I love 82.
82 is awesome. And I'm just like sitting out there, and it was like 4 p.m. because we were waiting for the place that we had dinner reservations at to open, and a bunch of people came in with Hannah Montana like tank tops on, and I was like, what the hell, what's going on? Like, why are there so many people here with Hannah Montana shirts on? And I guess because there was like a huge pop-up at the Grove. And then my mom texted me and was like, are you going to this? And I was like, why would you think that I'd be going to that? Now if it was Liz McGuire pop-up, yeah, I'd be the first person there. In Hillary we trust.
But yeah, like basically, and she says she doesn't regret her time at Disney. She said it actually kind of like trial by fire. Like she had to learn how to do interviews. She had to learn how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, like, you know, on a much smaller scale, we both went through like the college program, local college program for music. And they train you how to do all that stuff, but they don't train you how to find your individual voice in that stuff.
Oh God. I feel like school is the worst place to do that.
Yeah.
It almost feels like Disney is kind of like, it is school for famous people. I mean, like obviously Sabrina's gone through it, Miley, Selena, all these people, Zendaya, that are like to be able to, like, it teaches you how to do that thing, but it also strips you of your individuality. It's like, this is how you do interviews, this is how you present yourself as likable for other people. And then I feel like a lot of these girls end up having to like really learn how to shed that before actually being able to make it, because like we've covered Sabrina before, and like watching the albums that she released adjacent to the Disney thing, it's like it genuinely feels like she was like putting on a hat of like, this is the kind of artist I want to be, but not the kind of artist I am. And it wasn't until, in my opinion, emails I can't send, that it was like, there she is. There's actually Sabrina.
And I feel like Coco Jones is getting to that point.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I feel like this is like the beginning of like us finally starting to be able to see her. She was also on Bel Air, which I watched all of that. But even kind of the same, like the last season got a little like, she wasn't in it so much, I think probably because she was making music or something. But the writing felt very forced in points and stuff towards the end. And I think that like, I think she's starting to like find herself in that. And watching some of the interviews and watching her talk, I'm like, I see you. Like, I see you, not who. And I think, again, like her working with Charlie Puth, I think they're going to make some great music that is actually her. And she said that at one point. She said, when I was on Disney Channel, I wasn't writing the music. They were kind of just handing it to me. And then towards the end of Disney, she had met some producers who were like, I want to work with you. You have a great voice. And she was working with like actually working with producers instead of like Disney Channel. And then, but then when those songs got scrapped, that would really hurt her feelings because she had a special attachment to those songs. Right. And so she's like, it was definitely the right choice. I don't hold any anger or regrets or anything. I just, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think her voice needed to come into her age. I genuinely think that she's, I mean, to be fair, I think that it's very weird that we live in a society where record labels are really only wanting to sign like really, really young artists who have no idea who they are yet. Because I think everybody that I look up to is making their best work now that they're like, their, you know, brain is fully cooked. They're like over 25. Like some of my favorite artists are making their best music and they're in their late 30s, but like it's because they have that perspective now to be able to look at things. And like what I've really noticed about this latest album with Coco Jones, and even the single that she just released with Love a Girl too, it's like, you know, I'm believing all the things that she's saying now. Like it doesn't feel like I think this is what people want me to do, or this is what Disney's making me do, or, you know, like art is a way of being able to express ourselves. And like we all desperately want to be understood, especially in a society that desperately wants to misunderstand us. Especially with social media. So some people really are not afforded the opportunity to kind of figure out who they are. And I think it does actually take, you know, some doors closing in your face to be able to find that, or to tap into yourself, like especially with like, you know, again, like I just mentioned Sabrina, a great example of that. Or Coco, or I mean, even with Miley Cyrus, like I know she really tried to kill the Hannah Montana thing back in 2013, and then releasing all of those songs like on bangers and stuff like that. And she has genuinely made some like really interesting and experimental stuff over the years. But you want, like, I always think about like my favorite performance I've ever seen of her. It was her at the Grammys after winning a Grammy for Flowers. And then just like looking so effortlessly cool and happy and just commanding that stage.
And I know that like cutting your teeth at Disney, like that gives you that opportunity for sure. But even with like Hilary Duff, like who I think we should cover one of these days because her newest album's crazy good. But like, you know, she was like the blueprint of it. She was the first one to get that sort of like, well, can we also make a pop star out of a Disney Channel star? And, you know, as she was trying to transition out of the Disney thing, she did some like more suggestive music that felt like, yeah, it was like, okay, you're an adult now, but it didn't feel like her, like the With Love album.
All go through that. Like,
yeah.
Jonas Brothers, like, I remember Joe Jonas making one, and it just felt weird because he was like, he made a music video where he was in a bathtub with a girl, and I'm like, you literally just had purity rings, like, 2 months ago.
Like, I know maybe you've gotten over it, but give us time to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I feel like they definitely all need to go through that phase. What I love about Coco is I feel like, you know, like R&B in general is a very sensual genre. It's like you could be singing about, I'm just going to make something up. You could sing a song about eggs.
Yeah.
But like because of the sonic landscapes of R&B music, it's always going to have a sensual vibe to it. So, I mean, sing a song about an egg burrito to me. It'll make me, no, I'm just kidding. But like, and I think that genre suits her so well. I think that when she was with Disney, it almost felt like they were just trying to make her like, again, like a pop star.
Yeah.
And her being able to take that time to figure out like, what actually do I want to say? How do I want to say it? What do I want that to sound like? And how do I want to dress myself? How do I want to look as I'm singing those things? Like, this album sounds so good. Dude, like Taste, I've been obsessed with for a while. But like, her melodic choices are so interesting. They take you in so many places. And like, for me to feel like I can buy into an artist's like world that they're building, like it needs to feel authentic. Like I feel like I can really sniff when something isn't. And so finding her at a place where it feels like she's really stepping into herself now feels like such a treat. I mean, same thing with like, with Miley, with Sabrina, with Hilary Duff and her newest album too. It's like, this is so authentic to who you are. And it's so refreshing, dude. Oh my God.
And that's, you know, she did say at one point, she's like, you know, I have influences from everything where like, she's like, when I was younger, my mom listened to like Aretha, and that's the one that's coming to my head right now. I know she listed a few, but and then she's like, and then I was really into Hannah Montana and Lizzie McGuire, and
I feel like as a girl in the US, we all kind of were. It's like you kind of have to be. It's, you know.
And she's like, and I really took to the fact that they were acting and living their music career at the same time.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was obsessed with them. And then like coming out, like she's like, I listened to like SZA and she I can
really hear the SZA influence.
Yeah. She's like, and that's when I was like, oh, because they just sang, like when I became an adult and I started listening to that, like they literally, and when we talked about SZA, we talked about that. Like they literally just sing whatever they're thinking about. It's like,
yes, 100%.
An open diary.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's like, and I was like really drawn to that. And so I think that's the lane that she's going to go down. I think that it's going to I'm really excited to hear the music that comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was that time where she's coming out of that and she's trying to learn how to do that without letting the type A get in the way.
I feel that. I struggle with that myself.
So I'm excited to see where this all goes now.
Mm-hmm. Me too. She's, from what I'm seeing online, like she's listed, some of her biggest musical influences are like Beyonce, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Aaliyah, Aretha Franklin, Brandy, Mary J. Blige, Christina Aguilera, Celine Dion, Jasmine Sullivan, Britney Spears, Etta James, Roberta Flack, Jennifer Hudson, and CeCe Winans. And like 100% I can hear all of those influences here. I think that like when I think about her discography, obviously Why Not More is such a great first major label debut. I think it's so, I mean, it's not her debut was the EP, but like this is such a strong studio album. And I feel like it really was something that like, I think in this TikTok era is really hard, is finding albums that feel like a complete sentence and not just a bunch of thoughts all together in one collection. and this is an album that definitely was meant to be heard all the way through, but there's some standout songs that really just like, hold on, I'm so sorry, I have to sneeze.
You're okay.
Oh, am I not gonna? Wait, sorry. Oh,
I hate it when
now
that
I get to play. Now I get to play that game. Ooh, this happened to me yesterday too. Oh my god,
it happened to me the other day. Leo was like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm literally sitting there like this, and I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I think I need to sneeze, but I'm not sneezing." Like,
woo. Okay, I think we're good. Oh my.
okay.
If you guys have not checked it out, Why Not More came out April 25th, 2025. So it's been out for about almost a year from the time of recording this podcast. It's an R&B album that's about 42 minutes in length, released in partnership with Def Jam and Warner Chappell Music. It's a fantastic song. Some of the singles from that album are Here We Go, Most Beautiful Design, Taste, You, and On Site. For me, obviously, I love Taste because it samples Toxic from Britney Spears. And the woman that wrote Toxic, I've heard her demo of Toxic, and I think it sounds amazing. And so, I don't know, what I think is really interesting is, like, they like, obviously, like, pitch shift down Britney's track. Mm-hmm. And then they say with a taste, and then she has this melody that just, like circles around it and overlaps it and like envelops it in a hug. And I just, oh my God, I love all the melodic choices on this album. Like, I wrote down and I left, unfortunately, that note at home. There were a couple of songs in particular that just like, all of the melodic choices were just like, immediately when I heard it, it just felt so satisfying. Like, yes, exactly. That's where that needed to go.
It's really cool because it's like one of those, like, nothing, it was so cohesively done, like the melody and everything, that like I found myself just listening to it. Like, I wasn't like, again, I've said this many times on this, I'm a big lyrics person, but I found myself like not even like really paying attention to the lyrics. Like, I was just enjoying the music as I was working on things. I think I was her EP or her LP, I think it was HDWY.
Oh, okay.
Which is like 2 before this. Yeah. I had that one on and I was like gardening, and I swear I listened to that thing like 5 times on repeat before I went, I've listened to this 5 times on repeat.
You just don't even realize it. Yeah. I feel like that's also a real sign of maturity in an artist is sonic cohesiveness.
Yeah.
That like, I remember like Taylor Swift talking about this, like, but like right around 1989 coming out, and for her, she said it was her first like sonically cohesive album. Sure enough, she was like 25 when it came out, or around 25. And I definitely think that like it takes learning about yourself enough and then being so sure in what your vision is to be able to have that. Because I think that a lot of people really take sonic cohesiveness for granted because a lot of people don't listen to albums anymore. They just listen to little singles here and there. But to appreciate your craft enough to be able to tell a full cohesive story. And that seems to be like a huge reason why people were really praising this album. Like, you know, her vocal delivery and the album cohesiveness and production is kind of like the big thing a lot of critics had to say about this record. It was nominated for Best R&B Album, as it rightfully should have, for the 68th Annual Grammy Awards. Obviously it has 5 singles from the album. It reached number 59 on the US Billboard 200. And then she had like a digital special edition of the album called Why Not More? That was released back in August of this last year. But genuinely, finding that. And then like this newest single that she released a couple days ago, or like I guess a week ago at this point, it feels like it feels like joyous, if I can say that. It also feels like okay, so we have Why Not More, and that was a full, cohesive, complete project. I released the deluxe version, and that's done now. Lover Girls started the next era, and it feels like a definitive start of era number, or the new era of Coco Jones.
I think there was a third one that came out, like a third. No, it was another version of. Oh, okay. So there was Why Not More, and then there was Why Not More Extended. And then there was Why Not More?
Oh.
Why Not More is the one I listened to just because there was
More.
I'm
just kidding.
Yeah, there was more. I found that, like, again, like, the whole album, I was like just cohesive, like, listened to it, wasn't it was just, there was nothing that like jarred me because it was all so like well laid out together, you know.
Yeah.
I love Taste. I had that one down. And also just because, like, when I listened to that one, I was on a walk around the park. And I, like, was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start listening to the music. And that one came on, and I went, of course it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, but, like, some of my favorites were, like, towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I typoed the name of that song. Where It Hurts. Something Where It Hurts. It's on the More version.
Oh, Hit You Where It Hurts.
Hit You Where It Hurts. Okay, I have, for some reason, my phone says But You Where It Hurts. And I'm like, that makes no sense. I really loved the guitar part on that one. Like, that immediately caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Forever Just Don't Hit Like Before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That line.
Yeah.
Is intense. And like that whole fear of like letting your heart go because you don't believe in forever anymore.
And now she's engaged. Ah! So cute. Yeah, no, I had like literally I'd written down all the songs that I had liked off the top of my head as I was like doing my initial run through listen of the album, and then I left that at my computer. But yeah, there was just so many that I was actually like starting to like run out of space on my little Post-it note that I had, and I was just like, okay, clearly this is just like, and it was so funny because I mean I've talked about this many times before. My fiance is a drummer, and I literally was like, you have to listen to this, blah, blah, blah. And then I even like, I sent one of the songs off the album to my sister, no context, sent it to her. And I just said, listen to R&B today. And she went, okay. Just like, you guys have to fucking listen to this. And like, you know, David was just like walking around the background as I was listening to this album, and like I could tell he was like really getting excited by a lot of the interesting drum parts. I really can't remember the song off the top of my head that really piqued his interest, but it was like the drummer made really interesting choices in terms of like dividing the beat, and I had it written down and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Yeah. But he was like explaining to me why it was so cool. And like it almost made him like get excited enough to want to like hop on the kit and like play along for a little bit. And so I also love that kind of thing too when it happens to music that we both really like to listen to, that just like inspires you to want to create music too. And I think that that's like the whole point of this podcast for us as like songwriters and musicians ourselves, is like what inspires us to want to like pick up our pen and start writing again. Like for me, I feel like the biggest thing I've been chasing over the last year with my songwriting is like better melodic choices and more interesting melodic choices, because I feel like I have a tendency to kind of like do the same things over and over again. And so being able to listen to this album and like not expect that she was going to go in that place and be like, oh, but of course, like that makes the most sense. And it sounds so beautiful with obviously her amazing voice. She has like such a wonderful, rich timbre to her that like, I was like, okay, so like I'm not taking as much. I do think that the album is very great lyrically, very strong lyrically, but I'm taking less lyrical inspiration from it as much as, or as instead taking way more melodic choices. Yeah,
I think that was me too. Like I was like, usually I'll write down a whole bunch of lyrics. I really didn't write down lyrics on this. I was like, I love the way Easy.
Yeah.
The fucking runs she did on that.
Yeah.
In the chorus. Like, and they changed every time. Like the chorus wasn't the same every time. It was a different run every time she sang that. And I was just like, go off.
Yeah. I was like, there's a part of me that like wanted to just like really, really break down and dissect each of these lines and like start working on like them myself, because it also was like really good for like practicing vocal agility and that sort of thing. So genuinely, just like really surprised. I mean, I listened to a lot of her older tracks in terms of like, because she has a lot of like singles and stuff from like especially the earlier years. And I mean, my biggest takeaway from some of those other songs, like Chandelier, Deja Vu, Made of, that EP, those like things that she was on Hollywood Records with, very much they don't reflect the artist that she is today. Peppermint felt like, you know, that was the song that she released afterwards. It felt like a departure from Hollywood Records, but it almost felt like it took I don't know, like I really liked Dream and Depressed. Both those songs came out in 2019 and they felt like, you know, bedroom tracks, like in a good way.
I feel like Depressed was on, was it the HDWY?
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah. I liked that one. Yeah, there was some really good ones on that. Like, I mean, around that time I feel like is when she probably started to.
It felt like the transition of like, okay, I found where I'm going and now I'm going to perfect where I'm going. And we've gotten to the perfection part. And so like, obviously with her debut EP, like ICU was a huge hit. That's such a wonderful song. And again, it was like, so 2019 was the definitive, I think I figured out which direction I'm going. The EP was I'm getting there, and the album was I found it.
Yeah.
And so I'm really interested to see where this next kind of iteration of her goes, because Love a Girl has a bit more of a pop production to it with that same sort of R&B feel. So like I literally for the last like week, I've just been walking around the house going, love a, love a, love a, love a, love a, go. Just like in my head, it's such a catchy chorus. It's just I'm so excited for her career. I can't wait to see where it goes.
So exciting getting into someone when they're finding themselves still a little bit.
Like we're not on the ground floor, obviously, but it's so nice to just be like, or to admire somebody and see that they're going in a place that feels fulfilling to them. And obviously, again, I do not know her at all. Maybe she hates all of this. We're just projecting.
I watched an interview where she was like she said, she doesn't regret Disney Channel or anything, but neither of them, like, they didn't know what to do with her.
Yeah.
Which, as a teenager, has to be so hard to.
That would make me feel really upset. And I'm so glad that didn't get her down, you know? Because I think that can, you know.
She said, she was like, it was scary walking away from them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where I was going to go or where I was going to end up. But I do think that she had to, and she says that, like, I had to gain the lived experience to.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, now she's 28, right?
28?
Yeah. And she's like, I feel like around that time is when I started to find myself. Like, I went through I wasn't a quarter life crisis. It was like I had it at like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And then 28, 29, 30, I for sure felt like, okay, I know who I am, even if life's not fully where I wanted to be. I was a pandemic 30, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy 30th birthday. Hope you like being indoors for a year. Yeah, I would say for me, like, I don't think I really started understanding, like, I had a very, like, I don't know, like, I was walking through the world with bubble wrap. I didn't really realize the gravity of anything until I was 25. And then, and that was during the pandemic, or like, I turned 25 in 2021. So I feel like it was like tail end of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was coming out the other side of like this global traumatic event being like, oh, whoa, hey, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then like, I feel like, again, I just turned 30 and I feel like I'm finally starting to go, okay, I'm actually understanding what boundaries are, and that if I don't uphold them, I'm not being polite. I'm actually like, what's the right word? I've heard somebody say this before where it's like, holding a boundary is being respectful to you and the other person.
Yeah.
And like, that's something that I'd never, it's just, those are the types of things that you just don't automatically, I mean, maybe some people automatically get them, but it's like you, when you're younger, especially in your 20s, I feel like you really kind of try to mold yourself to be what digestible.
Everyone else wants you to be.
Yeah. And then finally you hit 30 and you go, And what for, actually? And also, what for? Everybody
Yeah.
already thinks you're basically in the ground. Might as well just enjoy your life now.
So I'm like very excited to see, especially and we've said this before, like we want more music for people who are, and
Yeah. I would like adult music, please.
you were talking about like the industry and how they want younger people, and
Yeah.
like American Idol used to cut off at 27 years old.
Don't they still do that?
I don't think they do anymore.
Oh,
They changed
okay.
that rule a long time. I don't watch it anymore, but
Yeah. As they should change that rule because, like,
yeah.
again, I think that really it doesn't serve anybody to perpetuate this, like, system of ageism that I think that, I mean, not to be the younger generations, but they are so obsessed. Like, I remember and this is just, experience about being a woman in the industry. I was playing a show, not in LA, I was playing a show in Santa Ana, of all places. And I'm talking to the promoter after the whole show, and we're just like vibing. And I could tell he's older than me. Motherfucker was losing his fucking hair. His fucking hairline started back at the crown. So shut the hell up, cul-de-sac man. But I'm sitting there and like, I'm the youngest member of my band. I was 26, and I'm talking to him, and like, we were just talking about something, and then I brought up MySpace, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna date yourself like that?" And I went, "Huh?" And he went, "Oh, you're gonna openly admit that you use MySpace?" And I was like, "In elementary school, yeah. I mean, I'm 26." And he was like, "Oh, well, we just don't talk about age out here because the younger kids just like, because there was a band that we were playing with, they were like, I don't know, early 20s, which, brother, I'm only like 4 years older than these turds, like." But he like made me feel really bad for admitting how old I was. And I was like, I'm 26.
Yeah.
What is going on? And I still think about that. That was almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
To be like genuinely afraid of being honest about who I was. But the thing is that the music that I wrote when I was younger was not coming from a place of experience. I was just cosplaying as a fucking adult.
Yeah.
And also, what are we all supposed to do after we turn 30? Die? No. Well, I don't even. That doesn't make any sense,
I think
dude.
that there's a big shift happening with the infamous files and everything coming out, that everything was geared towards
Oh my god,
making
dude.
us like limited to, like, we were talking about Disney Channel, and like, not to put a bummer on this episode or anything, but like,
I apologize in advance to Coco. My bad, girl.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this.
Like Disney Channel like was heavily, like Limited 2 was heavily influenced by Disney Channel. Disney Channel is very heavily influenced by Limited 2.
I exclusively shopped at Limited 2 when I was a kid because like every birthday, every Christmas, I would just walk into that store and like not even think twice about the fact that I'm like 6 or 7 years old and I could buy a thong
Yeah.
at this kid's store, not knowing until these files came out that they were owned by Epstein and all of his cronies.
Friends.
Yeah. That they own Pink, they own Limited 2, I mean, it genuinely feels like this entire generation of like zillennials, what I'm going to call them, like, were groomed, you know, like it feels, I don't even know how to put into words how sad it makes me feel that all the things I was into were heavily influenced by old men that just found people like young girls attractive.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so this whole thing about like, Disney having to dress a certain way and all this stuff. And like, I literally shopped at Limited 2 because I felt like, oh, these are the types of clothes that Liz McGuire would wear.
Yeah.
Or different things like that. And it's like, we're only just now hearing about this, and it's going to take us so long to like
really
unravel
learn about
it.
all of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying that like young people aren't making great music. They can, and they have.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that
maybe
there's
not
a
an emphasis
shift.
on children,
I think there's a shift happening where people want to hear music, lived experience music.
Yeah.
Again,
Dude, I mean,
feel like it was, and then like even thinking back, like, I mean, maybe they just feel older to me because they're my dad's music, but like Led Zeppelin and
yeah.
Queen, and they weren't kids
No.
when they were making music. Like, so
Like-
I think we're shifting back into we want to hear music, which is why I'm so excited. This is where I was going, and like my brain train that how it relates to Coco Jones, just that like I'm excited to hear as she matures more where her music goes, especially if she's going this diary writing direction.
100%. I mean, Lizzo's in her, or not Lizzo. I don't know why I said Lizzo. Sorry. SZA is in her 30s now. And her last, I guess 2 albums that she released very much feel more like, I mean, I think all of her music has always felt very mature for her age. Because, she started, before she really got signed, she was like writing for Rihanna and that Anti album and stuff. But like, I think about, like I always talk about some of the songs on the later half of the album, and there's this one called Special that I remember talking about when we did our SZA episode that like, I really like that because it's like, I don't really think that it's harder when you're younger to be able to articulate why being with somebody that's always comparing you to somebody else makes you feel so bad. Because like maybe you don't even realize that. Like I remember being 20 years old and I was dating somebody who I thought loved me, and I'm sitting on the floor in their room in front of their like mirror doing my makeup, and he just says, man, it would be so cool if you could do your makeup like those other girls. And he was like referring to specific people that we knew, and it gutted me so bad, feeling like, oh, you don't like the way I do my makeup? Like, do you think I'm ugly? And then this is back, not to date myself, this is back in the day when, but Instagram used to have a little section. It was just the heart section where you could see what everyone was liking. And I know you can see what people are liking now again on Reels, but it used to be that you could see every freaking post that somebody would like. And my boyfriend at the time was always liking girls' pictures, and I could always see it. And I didn't bring it up to him because I felt like I couldn't, because it just seemed like, well, that's just what they all do. And like just literally not even been able to articulate how much it made me feel so small and so sad. And then like, as you get older with that perspective, then you can actually put like, you can verbalize those feelings like, no, that was fucked up and you shouldn't have done those types of things. And then hearing something like, SZA being able to have that same perspective and then write a song about it, I feel like it really does come with that maturity, with that time of like, because at 20, I think I didn't know how to say anything about it, even just in person, to have that boundary to sit there and say, fuck you. If you don't like the way I look, if you're looking at other women, then we don't need to be together. Yeah. But you just so desperately, and I'm not saying all girls are like this, but I think when we are younger, we were conditioned to be as agreeable as possible and as digestible as possible for men. And like, as you get older, and I think this is why a lot of men don't fuck with women their own age and they like dating younger women, is, because I often hear this from other men talking about like, oh, well, I like dating younger women because they don't have like attitude and they don't have this and they're not. Well, we have that kind of attitude, and which, by the way, fuck you if you think that way. Yeah. Disgusting. I'm not molding myself for a guy that likes children. But like women, we start to, look at things from a different perspective. We start holding our own boundaries. We start saying, no, I'm not accepting this actually. And you're not going to treat me this way, because we'd all accepted it at one point and went, why am I doing this anymore? Yeah. You don't like me anyway. Yeah. So why am I going to make myself digestible for you? Anyway, that was my long rant.
Well, no, it's true though. Like I feel like there's a point you hit, and maybe it's experience, just like going through like, the different relationships I've been through. I made some bad choices, you guys. I made some bad choices. And so, like learning from that, and like there's still part of me that's like shedding the trauma, I guess, of like things that I went through in my early 20s and stuff, and like still learning to use my voice and whatnot. Leo's always encouraging me, like, girl, speak up. What was it the other day? We were trying to decide where to eat, and he's all like, we can go to like Ono, or we can go to the katsu place, and we always put it in a wheel because I can never make a choice. And he spun the wheel and he goes, it says Ono. And I was like, okay. I went, do you not want to go to Ono? And I'm like, he's like, does the katsu place sound better? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, why didn't you say something?
Hey, we could have avoided this if you just said what you wanted. No, I mean, like, I definitely, and I know we've talked about this before, I definitely still struggle with being 100% like honest, not only with the people around me, but with myself. It's like, I don't even know what I want sometimes. But definitely as you get older, you start to be able to figure a lot more of that out. Like,
you at least get to recognize, like, oh, hey, I think I felt a way here and I didn't say something.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to you about this yesterday, but like, you know, I learned quite a bit in my first band that I was in pretty much the entirety of my 20s, and I'm not in that band anymore. And I, you know, was working on a different musical project with some other friends, and it's like, oh, that same sort of thing that I didn't like, that I never said out loud, made me feel bad, is kind of happening again. Actually, before this even takes off, I'm just going to stop it here.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I don't need to go through this a second time. But I mean, let's say, like, you know, if you know, David and I broke up and I had to start dating somebody new at some point, like, I also now through all my trials and experiences could like clock certain things and make me go, I don't want that. I'm good. Thank you. I would actually rather be single than deal with this again. Or like, you know, like with that same person that, like, you know, was making comments about the way I did my makeup. Oftentimes I'd have to beg for the two of us to be able to hang out. Hey, actually, if you don't want to hang out with me, we don't have to date. What the fuck?
I've been in a relationship like that.
I feel like we've all, oh my God, the amount of us, I feel like, I don't know if it's just like growing up, like in a, like raised like hella religious and like becoming an adult, like as you're transitioning into adulthood, of like wanting to just be the perfect partner in some way. Like, even though I wasn't religious anymore, it's like that's still in you to just, I have to be agreeable and I have to be perfect and I have to be this, and oh, he doesn't want to hang out with me, it's because there's something wrong with me. Not wrong with him because he's a loser, dude. Yuck. Oh, you just want to stay home and play video games? Go ahead. Actually, go ahead, dude, and also delete my number from your phone.
Yeah.
I would do that now. I was 19. So,
but yeah, I think that there's lived experience and that works its way into your writing, but also like you said, even her melodic choices and like feeling free to
experiment with
it and not fit into a box. And she, like she said in her interview, she's type A, so I understand how hard it is to like break out of that rule box. I'm really excited to see as she starts to do more of that.
Yeah, like, me too.
I think it's going to be great. So we're going to take a short break and then we'll come back. I mean, we kind of already went over our favorite songs. She only has one album, so we can't even be like, what's your favorite album?
Spoiler alert, guys.
We'll do like final thoughts.
Yeah.
Right after this break.
Welcome to Know Your Rights, a music podcast from two guys who know just enough about songwriting to start a podcast about.
Follow Rob
and Colton
as each week we dive into a different band or songwriter and discuss what makes them great, okay,
or otherwise.
Music is law,
and we know our rights.
Streaming bi-monthly wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Know Your Rights, a Bassbone Entertainment podcast. DJ Brood is happy to bring you a proper session of music listening at the beginning of every week on Twitch. With rotating themes showcasing new music, hits of the past, and specific genres, there is most definitely something for everyone to enjoy. Tune in every Monday from 5 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time as he broadcasts nothing but musical goodness live from the comfort of his home to the comfort of yours. Bedroom Radio, where there are no Monday blues, just Monday vibes.
Yeah, I know you said you left your list at home.
I did, unfortunately. Just put me down for Taste. I really love that song, and I also am really vibing with Love a Girl right now.
I found that I liked a lot of her songs towards the end of her More album.
Yeah.
Like, I loved, there was a remix of Other Side of Love with Alicia Keys. You want to talk about... Coco Jones can sing, and Alicia Keys can sing, and then you put them both in a room together. It's everything. It's everything. I think the song I wrote the most about was Easy. I really loved that she was like really like not holding back at all. Like, you know, going back to like when they were talking about, I was talking about Let It Shine, and like how they were like, oh, you know, like really let go and stuff, and then like her letting go was still very Disney-fied. This was her really letting go. I feel like Easy was really her just being like, let's see what my voice can do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was really, like, I even wrote, I was like, I'm really kind of disappointed it didn't make it on the first cut of the album, but I understand that, like, there's things that, like, you know, go into, like, choosing what goes on that album and everything. But I'm so glad that we got to hear it on the extended. So,
yeah.
I'm excited to see what other albums she comes out with, too. The song with Charlie Puth is also really good.
Yeah.
I listened to that. That's also really good. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot music-wise from her new stuff that's like she's just came out with her first full-length album. So
yeah,
we're right at the beginning of her, I think, skyrocketing, honestly.
I agree.
So I'm really excited to see all of that. And yeah, if you haven't listened to Coco Jones, definitely go check her out. Her music's great. If you want to watch something she's been in, she was in Bel Air. Or if you really just want a good nostalgic little giggle, you can go back and watch. I also watched her on Good Luck Charlie.
Oh.
She was like an occasional guest, and I watched one episode with her on it, and I was like,
oh, this is a Disney show.
This is a Disney show. All right.
Yeah.
Watching Disney shows as a 30-year-old is
it feels a little wrong, I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm clearly not the target audience, thank God.
But yeah, I think there's some really interesting, especially when we dive into other Disney stars, I think it's really interesting the Disney to pop star or star period, because she's more R&B now. She has pop influence, but in general.
Yeah.
And that transition, and we talked a lot about it today just because this is the first Disney star we've done, I think, other than Sabrina. We talked about it a little bit with Sabrina.
Yeah. I think you're right.
But I think that, and they all handle it in such different ways. Like, I feel like Coco almost, like, disappeared and then came back.
Yeah, I think
like,
so. Yeah.
Like, she was still making music, but she wasn't, like...
Yeah, focus on growing up and living a little bit. Yeah.
Where, like, people like Miley Cyrus, I don't even know that she could fully disappear. Like...
It didn't feel like she ever took time off.
Yeah. Even the Jonas Brothers, like, we mentioned them for a split second earlier, and I was like... They literally, like Joe just dived in. He just went, we can take our purity rings off now? Cool. Kind of like Miley. Miley did that too. Miley just went.
Yeah, I think to be on Disney for a little bit, you had to do that whole thing. Which also, why are we even talking about that kind of stuff? It feels very...
Yeah.
That is another one of those things that almost feels orchestrated by the creeps of the world. And it's like needing this obsessiveness, proving your purity. I mean, that question was asked to Britney Spears so many times when she was younger. And like, what the fuck are you... Like, it just feels like, genuinely, if I had a kid and an adult came up and point blank asked my kid if they were a virgin, I would want to call the police.
Yeah.
That's fucking gross and weird. So
I think that episodes where we dive into Disney Channel stars is gonna kind of have that.
what were we thinking as a society kind of vibe.
Yeah,
about that. And
there's
what the
there's
hell?
gonna be some brain trains that run off a little bit because
Yeah.
but you know, it is part of it. It's part, like, watching it and watching how they dressed her just like they dressed all the other Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, even had her doing I told Leo, I said, I don't know if the knees in was just Demi Lovato, but that, like, bent knee, arm up, out like this.
Yeah.
You can't see me doing it over the podcast, but
you
I
know what
you
we're
all
talking
know what
about.
we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really getting into it pose that they made the Disney girls do.
Yuck.
You know, watching her do that and just feeling like that is so unauthentic.
Yeah.
Like, and you could really feel it that she was trying to fit into that mold. And so, like she said, she doesn't regret it, but I'm really glad that she was able to I think she got out of there soon enough too. I think that's a big part of it too, that they both just went, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
And she didn't stay in there long enough that they just, like, completely robbed her of her, who she is.
Yeah.
By boxing her in so much. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, go check out Coco Jones. And then who do we want to do next? You know what? We will figure out who we're doing next. Just come.
Just watch the next episode.
Yeah. We'll come check it out. We'll.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a good surprise? We'll be surprised too. All right. We'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
If you're looking for fun events, awesome music, and enjoyable podcasts, then look no further. The Basebone Entertainment family has you covered. With so many talented people in our community, it was only right that we not only bring you events, but all sorts of awesome entertainment. Follow Basebone on social media or join our Discord community to stay updated and engaged in everything. That is at Baseblown on social media and discord.gg/Baseblown for our Discord. Basebone Entertainment, bringing you more than just bass in your face.